Have a nice day, my dear students. Today we will discuss about the speed, torque and characteristics and speed control of DC motor, which is lecture 10 of electrical machine. Day by day I will cover all the syllabus of electrical machine. So today about this topic. So myself, Mr. Santanu Noskar, Assistant Professor of Electrical Department, GKCEM JIS Group. My mail ID is santanu.uyt@gmail.com and santanu.noskar_gkcem@jisgroup.org. And this is my Facebook page, Being Electrified with Santanu. So let's start. So this is your syllabus. I have covered all the general introduction of rotating machine and DC generator in my previous lecture, and also cover working principle and back EMF of DC motor in my previous lecture. Today I will discuss about the speed and torque equation and characteristics of series shunt and compound motor and the method of speed control of DC motor. Okay, so this is your whole syllabus. So let's start. So speed equation of DC motor. In this equation, the EMF equation of DC motor is given by EB equals to V minus IARA. Okay, and also we can write as back EMF EB equals to P phi Zn by 60A, where EB equals to back EMF, P equals to number of pole, phi equals to flux, Z equals to number of armature conductor, N equals to speed, and A equals to number of path through armature. So we can write that P phi Zn by 60A equals to V minus IARA. Okay. So from here we can calculate the N, the speed, which is V minus IARA by phi into 60A by Pz. Okay. From this we can write N equals to K within bracket V minus IARA by phi, where K equals to 60A by Pz. These all are constant number because 60 is itself a constant number, A is number of path, P is number of pole, Z is number of armature conductor, which all are constant. Now V minus IARA equals to EV. This is V minus IARA and this is equals to. Okay, so from here we can write that this V minus IARA we can rewrite as EB. So N equals to K in V minus IARA we can write EB, K into EB by phi. From this equation it comes. So N equals to K into EV by phi. From here we can write N proportional to EV by phi. Okay, so therefore in a DC motor speed is directly proportional to back EMF and inversely proportional to flux per pole. Okay, so next, speed regulation. Speed regulation, the speed regulation of a motor is the change in speed from full load to no load and is expressed as a percentage of the speed at full load. Now we can write speed regulation equals to no load speed minus rated speed by full load speed. No load speed, if we take no load speed as 1100 rpm, full load speed at 1050 rpm, then percentage of speed regulation 1100 minus 1050 by 1050 equals to 4.76%. so the speed regulation is 4.6% here. Okay, next, the speed relation. If a DC motor has initial value of speed, flux per pole and back EMF as N1, Phi1 and EB1, these are initial thing, all N1, Phi1, EB1, that's why we write 1. respectively and corresponding final value N2, phi2, EB2. So this is final value, so we write as 2 in sub. So N1 proportional to EB1 by phi1. From the speed relation we knew that speed proportional to back EMF, directly proportional to back EMF and inversely proportional to flux per pole. So N1 proportional to EB1 by phi1 and N2 proportional to EB2 by phi2. So we can write from here N2 by N1 equals to EB2 by EB1 into phi1 by phi2. Now for a shunt motor, flux partially remain constant, so that phi1 equals to phi2, and we can write N2 by N1 equals to EB2 minus EB2 by EB1. So because of phi1 equals to phi2, it's cut. So for a series motor, phi proportional to I1 prior to saturation. So N2 by N1 equals to EB2 by EB1 into IA1 by IA2. So IA1 is the initial armature current, IA2 is the final armature current. Because of phi proportional to IA, we write I1 and IA2. Okay. Now torque and speed of DC motor. For any motor, the torque and speed are very important factor. When the torque increase, the speed of a motor increase, and vice versa. We have seen that for a DC motor, N equals to K into within bracket V minus IARA by phi, and we can write K into EB. In the position of V minus IARA, we can write EB. So from here we can write torque proportional to torque equals to proportional to phi IA. So if the flux is decreased from equation 1, the motor speed increase, but from equation 2, this is equation 2, the motor torque decreases. This is not possible because the increase in motor speed must be the result of increased for a large value. As a result of increased torque, indeed it is so in this case. When the flux decrease slightly, the armature current increase to a large value. As a result, in spite of the weakened field, the torque is momentarily increased to a high value and will exceed considerably the value corresponding to the load. The torque available cause the motor to accelerate and back EMF. Back EMF is EB equals to P phi Zn by 60. So nothing, just the torque and speed of the DC motor, nothing here. Okay, so go to the next slide. So now comes to the speed control of DC motor. First we have to know what is the speed of a DC motor. Back EMF EB of a DC motor is nothing but the induced EMF in armature conductor. Due to rotation of the armature in magnetic field, thus the magnitude of EB can be given by EMF equation of a DC generator, which is EB equals to P phi Zn by 60A, where P equals to number of pole, phi equals to flux per pole, N equals to speed in RPM, Z equals to number of armature conductor, A equals to parallel path. Okay. EB can also be given as EB equals to V minus IRA. Thus from the above equation, N equals to EB into 60A by P phi Z. But for a DC motor, A, P and Z are constant, therefore N proportional to KEB by phi, where K is constant. We discussed this thing in our previous slide. Okay, but for speed control I am discussing it again. So this shows the speed of a DC motor is directly proportional to the back EMF and inversely proportional to the flux per pole. Because we have to control the speed, So we have to know the speed equation of DC motor perfectly. Now the speed control. Come to the speed control. So what are the types of speed control of DC motor? So for speed control of shunt motor, there are three types of speed control method: flux control method, armature control method, and voltage control method. In voltage control method, there are two types of control method, which is multiple voltage control and Ward-Leonard system. Okay. So next, speed control of series motor. So in series motor, there are three types of control method: flux control method, variable resistance in series with armature, and series parallel control. So now, first thing, speed control of a shunt motor, and the first control method, which is called flux control method. So I am describing this picture, you will definitely understand the controlling method. It is already explained above that the speed of a DC motor is inversely proportional to the flux per pole. Thus, by decreasing the flux, speed can be increased and vice versa. To control the flux of a rheostat is added, this rheostat, in series with the field winding as shown in the figure. Adding more resistance in series with the field winding will increase the speed as it decrease the flux. In shunt motor, as field current is relatively very small, which is field current, ISH square R. Okay, so shunt field current is ISH, which is square, and R is small. Therefore, this method is quite efficient. Though speed can be increased above the rated value by reducing flux with this method, it puts a limit to maximum speed, as weakening of field flux beyond a limit will adversely affect the commutation. Okay, so next, armature control. Speed of a DC motor is directly proportional to back EMF EB, and EB equals to V minus IRA. That means when supply voltage V and armature resistance R A are kept constant, then the speed is directly proportional to the armature current IA. Okay, thus if we add resistance in series, go through this picture, with the armature, IA will decrease and hence the speed also decrease. Greater the resistance in series with the armature, greater the decrease in speed. Now voltage control motor. It is nothing but first the multiple voltage control, very easy. In this method, the shunt field is connected to a fixed exciting voltage and armature is supplied with different voltage. Voltage across armature is changed with the help of suitable switch gear. The speed is approximately proportional to the voltage across the armature. Now the very important topic, which is Ward-Leonard system. So go through this picture clearly. The system is used where very sensitive speed control of motor is required. Example, electric elevator, like etc. The arrangement of this system as shown in this figure. At right, M2 is the motor, which speed control is required. M1 may be any AC motor or DC motor with constant speed. G is generally directly coupled to M1. This is called motor generator set. In this method, output from generator G is fed to the armature of the motor M2, whose speed is to be controlled. Okay, so output of the G is fed to the armature of the motor. This is the main thing. So which speed to be controlled. The output voltage of generator G can be varied from 0 to its maximum value by means of its field regulator, and hence the armature voltage of motor M2 is varied very smoothly. Hence very smooth speed control of the DC motor can be obtained by this method. So this is very important for speed control method. Now speed control of series motor. First, flux control method. So there are four fixtures. Number one is field diverter, number two armature diverter, number three tapped field control, number four paralleling field coils. So one by one I will describe. So number one, field diverter. So a variable resistance is connected. So just go through the peak. When I am delivering my speech, just go through the peak. A variable resistance is connected parallel to the series field as shown in figure A. This variable resistor is called as diverter, as the desired amount of current can be diverted through this resistor, and hence current through field coils can be decreased. Thus flux can be decreased to the desired amount of, and speed can be increased. Now armature diverter. Diverter is connected across the armature as shown in figure B. For a given constant load torque, if armature current is reduced, then the flux must increase as torque proportional to phi into Ia. This will result in an increase in current taken from the supply, and hence flux phi will increase, and subsequently the speed of the motor will decrease. Number 3 is speed control, a tapped field control. As shown in figure C, the field coil is tapped dividing number of turns. Thus we can select different value of phi by selecting different number of turns. And the last is paralleling field coils. In this method, several speed can be obtained by regrouping coils as shown in figure D. Now variable resistance in series with armature. By introducing resistance in series with the armature, this is very easy. By introducing resistance in series with the armature, voltage across the armature can be reduced, and hence speed reduced in proportional with it. Now the last, series parallel control of speed control of series motor. This system is widely used in electric traction, where two or more mechanically coupled series motor are employed. For low speed, the motor are connected in series, and for higher speed, the motor are connected in parallel. When in series, the motor have the same current passing through them, although voltage across each motor is divided. When in parallel, then voltage across each motor is same, although the current gets divided. So go to my next slide. So now comes to the characteristics of series, shunt and compound motor. Okay, so condition are generally three characteristics of curve are considered important for DC motor, which are torque versus armature current, which is TA versus Ia, speed versus armature current N versus Ia, speed versus torque N versus T. So what is DC motor characteristics? There are three principal types of DC motor: shunt, series and compound. Both shunt and series type have only one field winding wound on the core of each pole of the motor. The compound type has two separate field winding, which we have discussed in our previous lecture. Winding wound on the core of each pole. The performance of DC motor can be judged from its characteristics curve known as motor characteristics. So from this curve we discuss about the characteristics. Following are the three characteristics of DC motor. Torque armature current, it is the curve between armature torque and armature current of DC motor. It is also known as electrical characteristics of the motor. Remember that term, electrical characteristics. Then speed armature current. It is the curve between speed and armature current of DC motor. It is very important characteristics, as it is often the deciding factor in the selection of the motor for a particular application. Then speed and torque characteristics. It is the curve between speed and torque of DC motor, and it is known as mechanical characteristics. Now, characteristics of series motor. So this is the series motor, and these are the all torque armature current, speed armature current, and speed torque characteristics. So first of all, we discuss about torque versus armature current, this curve. So we know that torque proportional to phi into Ia, up to magnetic saturation phi proportional to Ia, so that torque proportional to Ia square. After magnetic saturation phi is constant, so that torque proportional to Ia. Thus up to magnetic saturation the armature torque is directly proportional to the square of the armature current. If Ia is doubled, Ta is almost quadrupled. Therefore, Ta versus Ia curve up to magnetic saturation is a parabola. Okay, look here, the curve is parabola. Okay, however, after magnetic saturation, torque is directly proportional to the armature current. Therefore, torque versus armature curve after magnetic saturation is a straight line. It may be seen that in the initial portion of the curve up to magnetic saturation, torque proportional to Ia square. This means the starting of the DC motor will be very high as compared to a shunt motor where torque proportional to Ia. Now comes to the torque versus armature current. The speed N of series motor is given by N proportional to Eb by phi, where Eb equals to V minus Ia Ra within bracket Ra plus Rse. Rse means series resistance. When the armature current increase, the back EMF Eb decrease due to Ia within bracket Ra plus Rse drop while the flux increase. However, Ia within bracket Ra plus Rse drop is quite small under normal condition and may be neglected. Now, N proportional to 1 by phi and this proportional to 1 by Ia up to magnetic saturation. Thus, up to magnetic saturation, the N by Ia, that means speed versus armature current curve, follow the hyperabolic path as shown in this figure. After saturation, the flux become constant, and so thus the speed. Okay. Then speed versus torque. The speed versus torque characteristics of a series motor shown in this figure. It is clear, this figure. It is clear that series motor develop high torque at low speed and vice versa. It is because an increase in torque require an increase in armature current, which is also the field current. The result is that flux is straightened, the hence speed drop, which is N proportional to 1 by phi. Reverse happens should the torque be low. Now comes to the conclusion of characteristics of series motor. So what is the conclusion from this above characteristics of series motor? Number one conclusion is it has a high torque because initially torque proportional to Ia square. Number two, it is variable speed motor. See the speed versus armature current curve. It is automatically adjusts the speed as the load changes. Thus, if the load decreases, its speed is automatically raised and vice versa. Number three, at no load, the armature current is very small and so is the flux. Hence, the speed rises to an excessive high value. This is dangerous for the machine, which may be destroyed due to centrifugal force set up in the rotating part. Therefore, a series motor should never be started on no load. This is very important line, that a series motor should never be started on no load. However, to start a series motor, mechanical load is first put and then the motor is started. Okay. So note that the minimum load on a DC series motor should be great enough to keep the speed within limit. If the speed becomes dangerously high, then motor must be disconnected from the supply. Now comes to the characteristics of shunt motor. So same, torque versus armature current, speed versus armature current, torque versus speed. So we know that in a DC motor, torque proportional to T in proportional to phi into Ia. Since the motor is operating from a constant supply, flux is constant, neglecting the armature current. Now torque proportional to phi Ia, torque proportional to Ia. So what happen if torque proportional to Ia? It should be the straight line passing through the origin in this figure, thus. Okay. Now speed versus armature current. The speed equation is N proportional to EB by phi. In our previous slide we discussed about the speed relation, which is N proportional to EB by phi. The flux phi and vacuum EB shunt motor are almost constant under normal condition. Therefore, speed of a shunt motor will remain constant as the armature current varies. Okay. Strictly speaking, when the load is increased, EB, which is V minus IARA, and flux decrease due to the armature resistance drop and armature reaction respectively. However, EB decreases slightly more than phi, so the speed of the motor decreases slightly with the load. Now comes to the speed torque characteristics. This curve is obtained by plotting the value of speed and torque for variation armature current. In this figure, it may be seen that the speed falls somewhat at the load torque increase. Okay, now comes to the conclusion. So what is the conclusion? Number one, there is slight change in the speed of a shunt motor from no load to full load. Hence, it is essentially a constant speed motor. That's why shunt motor called constant speed motor. And number two, the starting torque is not high because torque proportional to Ia. In series motor, the starting torque proportional to Ia square. In shunt motor, starting torque proportional to Ia. Now comes to the compound motor. So cumulatively compound and differential compound. These motors have generally employed a flywheel where sudden and temporary loads are applied like rolling mills. And differentially compound motor are not commonly used, but they find limited application in experimental and research work. So come to the characteristics of cumulative compound motor. So torque versus current. Here torque versus armature current of cumulative compound motor. This curve. So as the load increase, the series field increase, but shunt field strength remain constant. Consequently, total flux is increased and hence the armature torque, which is torque proportional to phi into Ia. It may be noted that torque of a cumulative compound motor is greater than of a shunt motor for a given armature current due to series field. So look here. This is the cumulative compound motor, torque, armature current. Here we show the all characteristics: shunt, series, cumulative compound, differential compound, all. And this is the cumulative compound. curve. Okay, now comes to the speed versus armature current curve. As explained above, the load increase, the flux per pole also increase. Consequently, the speed, which is proportional to 1 by phi of the motor, falls as the load increase. See the figure. It may be noted that the load is added, the increased amount of flux caused the speed to decrease more than does the speed of a shunt motor occur. Thus, the speed regulation of cumulative compound motor is poorer than a shunt motor. Okay, note that due to shunt field, the motor has a definite no load speed and can be operated safely at no load. Now comes to the speed versus torque. As shown in the figure, speed versus torque characteristics of a cumulative compound motor for a given armature current. The torque of a cumulative compound motor is more than that of a shunt motor but less than that of a series motor. Okay. Now comes to the conclusion. So a cumulative compound motor has characteristic intermediate between series and shunt. In this figure you can see that series shunt cumulative, series shunt cumulative differential. Okay, so what is the conclusion? Due to presence of shunt field, the motor is prevented from running away at no load. Due to presence of series field, the starting torque is increased. So this all about the characteristics of DC compound motor. Okay, so reference of this lecture is electrical for you site, and electrical is easy. These two are very good site for electrical engineering and NPTEL video lecture. Here I am suggesting some book which is as well as for BTech and diploma, electrical machine, principle of electrical machine by VK Mehta and Rohit Mehta, Eastern publication. And this is very good book according to my choice, the best book, Electrical Machinery by Dr. P.S. Bimla. This is little bit huge and vast, but if you understand the book, the all idea of electrical machine will be clear. Then this is also very good book and simple book, Electrical Machine by Asfaq Hussain and Harun Asfaq. So thank you.